You have been a director of product marketing and now you have your own consulting firm. Can you share your journey and what inspired the transition?
So, when I was the director of product marketing, it was really great to work internally on all things product marketing for packaging to messaging, positioning, competitive intelligence. And I started to share those experiences across LinkedIn and at networking groups and all different kinds of just opportunities to meet new people in different marketing disciplines and different industries. And I started to get a little bit of interest around working and collaborating with folks. And the time at Metadata, where I was the director of product marketing, was right to make the leap into full-time consulting. And I started with a core group of businesses and leaders that I knew and trusted, and then grew out from there. So I had, the plan B all lined up by the time I made the jump. And then when I did, I was able to pivot into consulting relatively easily.
That's the only way, right? We need to have a plan B to make such a drastic change, drastic switch.
Yeah.
You are the GTM expert, GTM strategy expert on LinkedIn. So we'll dive right into GTM questions. When creating a go to market strategy, what are the non negotiable components you always include, regardless of the product?
Yeah, I mean, go to market strategy for me is a lot around change management for the go to market team. If you're not all in the same kind of agreement on who is owning what, who's reviewing what, and who needs to lead, follow, and get out of the way, it just becomes a huge mess, right? And you have different teams with different messaging, different pricing packages, different expectations from how the product's going to look to when it's going to be delivered. So I like to really focus on being firm around the feedback loops that we set in place, the points of communication, and just making sure what one hand is doing, the other one is aligned and aware of. So that's number one. Number two is just making sure that I really understand the product and then the teams that need to be enabled really understand it. I think there's this conception right now in marketing that, the messaging, positioning, the way that companies are talking about their products and features, it needs to be fun and entertaining. And while that's really true, I think once you get to the conversation after the initial, cool or interesting campaign, you have to be able to back it up. So enablement is another area that's a non-negotiable that needs to be structured and really invest the time into having everybody understand how to talk about whatever the new strategy is, whatever the new feature is, whatever the new positioning is, in a way that's digestible, that can be shared not only with the prospect in the room, but the prospect's, colleague, their leader, the person that is gonna put their name on the dotted line of the check. So really the internal strategy is something to me that's so important to get right that then helps everything else flow. Considering not every launch is going to be the same, I create launch playbooks, but even in those, it's constantly tweaking things back and forth on the reality of bringing something